Yes, that's what we want to see, a bit of blue skies. Oh, Hello everybody, hope you're well and welcome to what is forecast to be the wettest week of the year so far. Now fingers crossed I've got it all wrong, however today they've been spot on. It's rained all day, it's just knocked off, now I'm just about to go home, typical. I've done the loading out, the rain meant that I've been able to film it, sort of spares you the time lapse of that, so small mercies, eh? Quick update on the Oasis tickets, still none, still after 2 for Wembley. Can anybody out there help me out? This is a plea now, come on. Right then, tomorrow is supposed to be the nicest day of the week, after that it's supposed to be torrential. So hopefully they've got that bit right, we shall see, eh? Right then, tomorrow's a new day. Well, the beautiful weather that you saw at the beginning of that time lapse did not last, and dare to say, being that the weather warnings I'm getting on the phone, it probably didn't last for you either. But we're all done up here. I will go into a bit more detail a little bit later on, well, straight after this actually. However, now I'm done here, it leads me on to my next task, which is down there. And for that I need blocks. I arranged to go and pick up the blocks today, and got there and they were shut, closed for a funeral. So that's that, really. That's a bit of a curveball because it's sort of put everything out of sync now in terms of the progress for this week. I know what you're thinking, to go and get more blocks elsewhere, but I can't. Again, I'll mention that a little bit later on as to why not. Anyway, so I'll show you in more detail what I've done up here. Then we'll talk about the next task, and then we'll just plough through the week and we'll try and get done as much as we possibly can, providing that these things don't burst. Anyway, we shall see. Finally, after dodging some horrendous weather, 3 days we've had, absolute downpour, which I think, to be honest with you, the whole south end of the country have had apparently. But yeah, the amount of water that's in those tubs over there, I'll put it on screen now, it's amazing, just from 3 days. So it's been a bit stop-start, shall we say? Well, in fact, it was been completely stop for a bit and then start again. But there we have it. So we're up to scaffold height now. Well, up to lintel height now, ready for the scaffold to get up to have the roof on. And I think where we're looking is there might be a course of bricks internally and then wall plate, or it might just be wall plate. I'm not too sure yet. We've got to get up there, have a look and see where we're at. These two lintels are on at the same height at around about roughly those two windows there. As you can see, that one's a bit lower, so disregard that. And then this one around here has stepped down again, because obviously it can't go any higher, because as you can see, the roof, it wouldn't work else. So potentially that might be a course too high, but we shall see. The customer seems to think that it's fine. I'm unsure, because if you look at the existing window there, we can just see the head of it there, and we're ever so slightly higher than that. By the time his roof comes down and returns in with a soffit on it or whatnot, it might interfere with the window, but we'll get up, we'll have a look. Worst case scenario, that comes down a bit. And then what happens here with this front, how we can get away with this being higher, even though it's a hip roof, is that this, if you can imagine the ceiling line is going to come up and then flat like that. So this elevation can be built up ever so slightly higher. Well, I think that's it. I think that's about as much as we can do. Courser blocks on there, and then the same internally with the wall plate. I think that might be it, but again, we need a bit of expertise here to sort that out. But yes, that's why we can afford to go a bit higher up here. Now that's done. All that's left to do is to finally get these lintels on. Bear in mind, these corner lintels have now been ordered. All I've got to do is okay the drawing that they're going to send to me tomorrow, and then that's a 3 to 4 day turnaround time to get delivered, which is brilliant. More details on them when they arrive, so let's not big them up too much yet. We've got a bit of work to do down there. Right then, said jobs. This wall has got to go up just as it is, block flat, all the way up to the very top. That is to create this room here, which is going to be an extension of the bedroom there, and the wall internally comes across to this wall, across to the reveal, and then this wall here is just going to come straight across the reveal into that one, nice and flush, and then out they look over to that via that room. Beautiful. But I can't do that until I've done this one. And this one is much the same, except it's going to be on edge from this point. I might go a couple of course flat just to get up to the wall starters. But then as soon as we're out the ground, that's a single skin all the way up, forming exactly the same across that room to the reveal, and then back across into here. Again, where it's different is that this is going to be bonded in from this point here all the way down to there, sorry, not all the way down there at all, to form the reveal of the door there. So that's going to be bonded in. Beautiful, that's ace. Can't do that until I've done this one. Now this is the main scene of operations. Customer's been busy, he's knocked all this out, dug up all the floor as much as he has to, exposed all this, and what he wants me to do is basically rebuild the wall as it is, but extend it into our block work there. And I've got a lintel, I'm going to lintel straight into it, and I'm going to lintel off this foundation, existing foundation here. So really, we're only spanning, what is that? I don't know, 250 mil maybe there. But I mean, why not? Let's give it as much as possible. Yes, I've just got to get up to height. I'm just going to lay a few of those offcuts of the feature that we've done and get them across there, bed lintel onto that, straight into that wall there. And then when that comes up, if I can climb up here without embarrassing myself, that then, so the customer's done all this, that then comes into this wall, and I've put a wall starter in just at the top of it there. Put a wall starter on there, that comes to level top of that wall, and then it gets bonded in again to form our reveal. It's only a block and a half here, all the way up. The problem is that to continue this wall all the way up, this window has got to come out. This post in the middle of these two windows has got to come out. That one can stay in, thankfully, because that's the living room and that's staying as it is for now. But that window has got to come out as well. I don't know if you can see that. There's a window that separates the porch area to the living room. So that's got to come out and then be blocked up. So all this has got to be done in a day. Now, because of the issues I was talking about earlier, I can't do that now. However, I can come up to the bottom of that window, as you just saw in there, and get up to this height, get up to just below the sill height there and leave it. And that way then, tomorrow morning, I'll go and get the blocks and all that can come down in a wanna, and then we've only got to go from there up to here, up to there you are, for catch up, to the underside of the window, which you don't think you can see. No, from there, underside that window. So then that section's back off the living room, making that weather tight, and we've got a new wall in. Our reveals are in to here. I can then get the external course up all the way up. The same goes for there. Once that's returned, external courser can then go up, which then forms the foundation for our, if that's the right word, for our lintels. Then that lintel can go on, and then that's done. And then the only lintels then to go on are the corner lintels, and the size of this window, it'll go from there all the way across to there, and then that one down there is exactly the same. Yeah, albeit a few mil. So that's what we've got to do now, weather permitting. Now look at it, it's lovely. Today would have been a lovely day to have done it, especially over the past couple of days. But hey ho, this is the building game. This is what happens. So I've got my compo, I've drunk my coffee, and yeah, let's get that done in there. And I don't think I'll be able to set up anything to film in there, but I'll show you when it's done. Okie dokie, well, I just thought I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. I'm not too sure of the angle that you're at, so hopefully it's okay. We shall see. Yeah, right then. Lintel's gone in, sat straight into the block work that's down there. Now these blocks, as you can see, or hopefully you can, are they're Thermalite blocks. Well, they're a variation of, that's the brand, but you know what I mean. But they're 7 Newton, those are. 7.2 actually. So I've got no issues there at all. And as I say, the span, if I can get up, oh dear. That's the span there, from there to there. That's all really that it's doing. Now, I have advised, and I will advise them again, the customer, not to keep this floor suspended. Now, the far side of this room is the kitchen, and like in most houses that we've encountered that have got suspended floors, the kitchen isn't. Kitchen's solid, so he's having a solid floor in the extension of the kitchen, so that he's filling all that in. Now, for the extension, as you can see, is this 250 mil. I mean, you may as well just keep it solid, mightn't you? Just fill it up. You can still vent through. The air bricks are still there. Just vent through and keep the existing suspended, ventilated. I beg your pardon. Yes, suspended and ventilated. However, I mean, you've got to get the floorboards up anyway to insulate it. So I'd just fill a lot in. I really would. PIR it, membrane it, screed it, done. No issues, ever. They're gone. However, there we are. Anyway, moving on. I've got this split in, as you can see, just to bring us up to courses there. So I've only got 2 courses. I'm going to fit 2 more courses on in here. And that's it. And I'll go and do a bit outside and really prep for tomorrow. But I don't want to use too many blocks, just in case the builder's merchant is closed again tomorrow. I know that there are other builders merchants out there. However, the customer has got a deal with the person and whatnot, and the price that it's paying, so I really can't go anywhere else. For us, for this particular job, it is the only builders merchants. So I don't want to use too many blocks in case I use too many and we haven't got enough to do this. But this is priority because of that's what's coming out. Exposing that room to the elements, because this has all got to come out. Exposing that room to the elements, and then we'll block it back up in a day, and we want enough blocks here in order to do it. So that's the issue. Anyway, oh yeah, I ain't told you. I've got a new trowel. It's new for me anyway. I've been inspired by a couple of you Brick Lane YouTubers out there. They all use different trowels and day to day. So I've got this one off eBay. WHS Hunt and Sons braids. Now, I love building. I love Brick Lane. I really enjoy it, and to be honest, at times it's a good job. I enjoy it. However, I've never been a history buff about it, and it's to my own detriment, really. So if you know anything about WHS Hunt and Sons braids, put it in the comments and teach me a thing or two, will you? And other people, if they're interested. But you know, that's what other channels are for, you know, and some great ones out there as well. But yeah, there we go. So, as I say, get these up, get it done, and then we'll move outside. Now something must have happened a good few years ago now. Something must have happened on a building site. And it led to a meeting, a very important meeting. And the outcome of that meeting, the solution to whatever that problem was 630mm long blocks. Now I don't know what could have possibly happened that meant that these things need to exist. But I know they have done for many, many a year. However, they are a pain in the rear. You'd think they'd be easier, but they're really not. I know there's less to a square metre, less blocks to a square metre because they're bigger, I get it. However, it's not less work. They're heavier, they're more awkward. I mean, to pick one up one hand, I mean, this is a Thermalite, you know what I mean, block. They're heavy now, so that advantage is gone. They're just a nightmare. They really are. Don't like them one bit. But yeah, there we have it. Rant over. Another thing as well, these wall ties, the clips for them, they're straight, look. So you've got to bend them yourself, this particular brand. So they're all different, aren't they? Well, another day, another plan has gone completely out the window. The customer that was going to help me today, do everything that I've just told you was going to happen, has had to go to work. So he's made a start. I don't know whether you can see through that window, but he's took the internal window out and he was going to take the rest of the affected porch out the way for me before I got here today, and then we were going to crack on with it. You have to shoot off to work, so life has got in the way yet again in this episode, but there we go. What do you do, eh? What do you do about that? We get comments, very, very few, to be fair to you, but we do get comments of, oh, you should do it like this, you should do it like that, especially off Paul F917, whatever his name is. Every video, oh, you shouldn't do it like that, you should do it like this. Well, Paul, what do you do in this scenario, eh? What would you do? Well, let me tell you, we're going to crack on. We're going to do it by myself, and we're going to crack on, and we're going to get it done for the customer. I'll turn you around now. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Thought of a plan. It's all very simple, really, but there we go. I'm going to tell you anyway. Just for you, Paul. There you go. You've got your shout out. Well done, you. Righty ho. As you can see, the customer made a start before he had to rush off. He's sheeted all up, and he's took that internal window out. However, here we are now with this bad boy. So what we're going to do, that piece of glass has got to come out for a start off, and I'm going to leave a majority of it in. The door can stay in because this roof no doubt is supported quite heavily by the door frame and things like that, so the door's going to stay in. The glass is going to come out, and then all I'm going to do is multi-tool or reciprocate saw the frame out there and there. Everything from that point can stay in. Obviously the sill's going to come out as well, and then unfortunately, I don't know whether you can see that, but it's on camera, I tell you, it looks in line, but this line here of the frame for this window is slightly over our block work there. So once that frame's out, this little post between the two is got to come out, and then I might just have to shave off a bit of this frame just to give us clearance so that wall can come up. Now once all this is out, I can sort of range that through better and see just how much of that needs to come out, or do I step the wall out a little bit in order to keep it in line with the internal there. We shall see, we shall see. We'll get there and we'll make that evaluation as we progress. These little old school little add-ons, I don't think I've ever seen them before. Just to turn a square window into a slightly rounded one. I don't know, it's a bit old-fashioned that, isn't it? Speaking of old-fashioned, I believe this was built about 30 years ago, this add-on to the house. None of this is original. So I've no idea whether this is safety glass or not. Now it should be, in this day and age, marked up, look, etched into one of the corners of the glass. I have no idea whether they did that 30 years ago. So I'm going to treat it as if it's not, i.e. I'm going to be very, very careful with it. Glove up, obviously, keep your wrists covered, because the slightest knock it could go and it might just turn into just a horrible horror film plate of shards. And I've never put those words together to form a sentence before in my entire life. I don't think I will. But just to talk you through safety glass, just in case you don't know, what safety glass is that if it breaks, it shatters into thousands upon thousands of little tiny, maybe like 10 mil like balls of glass, basically. They can still scratch you, but they can't cut you. So if you fall through it, if you do something like that, yes, you know, it's going to be embarrassing, it's going to hurt, but you're not going to get, you know, cut arteries and things sticking out of you. So that's the reason why it is. And it should be, in this day and age, every piece of glass in a door should be safety glass, irrespective of the height of where it is in the door. Every piece of glass attached to a door should also be safety glass, which includes that one. And if, this is just an example obviously, and if that side panel there was glass, that would have to be safety glass as well. As I say, in a door and attached directly to it. Now, windows don't have to be, unless, important caveat, unless they're in a bathroom, and because obviously you can slip, you can fall, you can put your hand out and go through it, that's got to be safety glass. And if it is above, the line of the glass is above 800 millimeters from the finished floor level, that means it doesn't have to be safety glass. If the line of the glass, not the frame, it's the glass line, if that is below 800 millimeters from floor level, finished floor level, it's got to be safety glass. Then it's important to know that if you're planning a project or anything like that, simply because it's more expensive. So if you want as big as windows as possible, you want them as low as possible, you know, that means it's got to be safety glass. If you blow 800 mil, as I say, it's got to be safety glass, and it's going to bump your price up. So it might be worth planning it so you're ever so slightly above that, therefore not paying that money. However, you might want the added safety, in which case to go for it. Well, that's up to you, isn't it? That's up to you. Don't let me tell you what to do. I ain't no Paul F. But there we have it. Right in, so let's crack on then. Let's get that out carefully. Let's build something. Crying out loud. Right then, we're ready. This setup here has took a bit of thinking, and it's I'm not used to it, so it's I'm feeling a bit drained at the moment. The glass is obviously out. That thing is extremely heavy, so it was squeaky bum time. Well, in fact, it was squeaky face time, to be honest with you, because that's what I used to slow it down on its rapid descent back down to terra firma. That's as far as I can get it on my own. That I dare to, you know, I don't want to, again, going back to the glass, the corners are the fragile bit, so I don't want to try and lift it over that, and I don't want to smash it, so I'll leave it there until I've got a bit of help here. Yes, this is out, the sill has been cut out, so we're ready now just to build this around here. I've come up with the idea of clamping one of my profiles to the block work, and then the post, which came out from here, which I didn't film being removed, because I used that little delicate beast over there, and I've got all new PPE on, and I just didn't want to show you, so there we go. Now then, my thought process is that with this here, that I can just lay the block to, as long as I don't ram it to it, I'll just nice and gently lay it to it. I now no longer have to come out of here to plumb it, so I can do everything from in there. Blocks, I've got my spot set up on one of my clamps onto the post. I've gone through them in previous episodes. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's all right. It's better than lugging the compo over this wall, which is extremely shaky now, because it's only there and it returns a little bit just to the door there, and I don't know whether that's fixed in at all or anything. So I've put a prop in there just to give the roof a bit of extra support. That door, as far as I'm concerned now, is completely out of action until it is removed. No one's to walk through that, because one slam and things could start moving at a rapid pace, and we don't want that. Right then, so I think I've set up in the most efficient way. Wall starters are on. Right, Jesus. Okay. Oh, I thought the wall's going in. Right. Breathe and build. Right, I had to cut that time lapse a bit short because it started raining, but I have done it just there, look, and then I've done the outside and then it really started to hammer. I tell you what, can we talk about this tomorrow? Right then, different day, different skies, we're happy, sort of. My day hasn't exactly got off to a flyer. Not only are my mates all going to Las Vegas today, I couldn't make it this year, so I'm getting inundated with messages and whatnot to make me feel really special, which is just great. We're there in the pub and whatnot, and photos and cheers, and yeah, I mean, that's great, brilliant, love it. Safe journey, fellas. Hope you don't crash. Went to McDonald's this morning for my morning drink, which was a black coffee, no sugar, easy, ain't it? Nah, drove off, took a sip, give me a cappuccino, I mean, come on. Now, I'm the kind of fella who doesn't think that a black coffee, no sugar, is not a hard drink to get wrong, but there, we move on, we move on. Been to the builders merchants, they're open, so got those blocks. All I've got to do now is take them from there, walk along here, put them on this wall here, then go up those ladders, along the scaffold, into the building, take them off and do it again, over and over to load out on the inside. So there we go, there we have it. I will crack on with that. I'll spare you the time lapse. Yeah, and then we'll just get something built. I'll show you what I did yesterday in a bit more detail later on, and got to crack on. Well, it's all right for them, but not for me. I got a little bit done, then the heavens opened again, and here we are. And if there's anything that's going to get me off a scaffold that's just metal poles, it's going to be thunder and lightning, as it just was. But usually when there is a storm, it doesn't last long. So I've been in my little man cave for about 15-20 minutes, and it is just brightening up. That's the direction it's all coming from, all going over us that way. So I'm tantalisingly close to actually getting some lintels on, which is a milestone that I want to achieve by the end of the week, and today's the last day of the week for me here. So I want to get it done just so for my own peace of mind I've actually achieved something, because this week has by far been the worst week of weather I've had this year. Undoubtedly. Now, there may have been worse weather, but I've been indoors or doing something else, or you know what I mean, maybe even on holiday. However, for me working outside, this is by far, it's been horrible. Anyway, nothing we can do about it. Just got to play forward, haven't we? And read the skies. It's coming over, it's going to get better, of that I'm sure. So I'll give it another 10-15 minutes in here, and then I'll go back up, hopefully finish off, get some lintels on, get myself out of here. Well, it's not often I get to say this, so I'm going to say it loud and proud. I was right. It did stop. A rainbow came out and everything. It was beautiful. Things were looking lovely. And then it started again. And then I got re-soaked. I got wet on wet. And it's just eased off. I've just cleaned up. I'll turn you around, I'll show you what I've done, and then I'm out of here. Mission accomplished? Was it balls? I got that bit done, which I am happy about. That's ready for scaffold now, as mentioned earlier. And then I got as much as I possibly could done here with the weather, and I've simply run out of time. Now, I'm not actually that far off where I wanted it to be. However, as you can see now, it's starting to look a little bit like a building. We've got that lintel on, but that was the end of last episode, if you watched it. And then now I've got these two pillars up, with a lintel on there. That's important. I really wanted this lintel on across this bedroom window here. However, it is just like the kitchen one that I did last week. There it is, resting up the scaffold. 56 kilos or something. And that's quite high up, and that's a single block pillar. And it's all very precarious, and it's all wet, and it's all horrible, and you know, that goes for this here as well. And I can't get that up on my own, nice and gentle, and place it down like a feather. It's going to go over, so I can't, unfortunately. I can't, not for the first time in my life, I can say, I can't get it up. I've got to start thinking this through before I start talking. Anyway, that's on, so that's important because that gives that pillar there a bit of stability. So now that can just be left now and not touched whatsoever for a couple of days until I'm back. Then I can mould that one up, get that one on, that's done. Back that up with the Thermalites, and then at the end of that episode, as in next week's episode, these corn lintels will be on, and we'll talk you all through that. However, oh look, blue sky, I'm wet through, going home. Right then, that's the end of that. Well, that was crap, wasn't it? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Listen, we'll always do videos. We'll always give you updates from the jobs no matter what. We'll show you what's going on. We'll show you the good stuff. We'll show you the bad. They all can't be tens, these videos, you know what I mean? We wish they could be, but they're not, you know what I mean? If anything, it's another video for the customers. This is what can go wrong. This is what can scupper the week's progress. This is why your kitchen ain't going to be in for Christmas. But yeah, well. We play forward. There's so many things out of your control. There's no point worrying about it, is there? You may as well just crack on and go for it. Right then, end of the next episode, the corn lintels will be in. Of that, I can promise you. We're going to show you how to order them, how to measure for them, how to install them, and then you'll be able to see them all in place. And really, then that's most of the structure up. Believe it or not, we are not far off getting that roof on. And for those of you who love building roofs and watching videos on it, this is going to be a good one, because this is going to be, you mark my words, the most complicated roof ever. If you want to watch them, don't forget to subscribe, hit the button, they'll all come straight to you, you won't miss anything. Although by the end of this video you're probably wishing that you missed this one, but there we go. As I say, they can't all be 5 stars, can they? Anyway, until next time, take care.